So a little bit of insight here. We weren't actually going to do a show today. Not because we were lazy or, didn't feel like it. We certainly did. But, we actually, Brian and I got to a point where, man, we've really pushed it hard this year. And, not necessarily just with the podcast, but with other things in our life. Both got a busy home life and obviously professional life as well. Making the shift from flying to, the more corporate side of things been a challenge for us, and we've had to adapt to that, learn new things, learn new skills. And, it's taken its toll. As, things have progressed, we've got better at it, which means that the expectation from us has become more and more. So, long story short, I actually, Ryan and I got together earlier on, and I said, "But look, I think today I'm actually not ready to shoot out a podcast today." And Ryan was at the usual self. He was like, "No, but this is what we do. We've got to do it. We've got to, we're consistent, and that's part of what we do, and part of how we've been successful, I should say." And 100% correct. And had a chat about it. We've got a bit of a vision as to what we're trying to achieve. We've now got a why. Why are we doing the show? We very much understand that now, and we're definitely pushing in a direction. And as we were driving home, or driving back to our studio here, after deciding we're not doing a show, we said, "No, fuck it. We're going to do the show today. We owe it to ourselves to do the show today." And it's not a case of we're trying to get away from it or the show's going anywhere. But I think all of us in life at some point get to a point where you think, why are you doing this thing? What's the purpose? It's just easier to just not do it, and you can do it next week. What's the big difference? I think with us, myself and Ryan, one of the big things is we're in it together. So if I'm a bit down, Ryan pushes me, and vice versa. But more than that, I think you owe it to yourself. If you're going to do something, it's a decision. You make a decision. You decide, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we're going to achieve. And come hell or high water, we're going to make sure that this happens. And I'm really proud of what we've done. And today's episode, it's a little bit shorter than we've done in the past. But the fact that we did today, I'm more proud of this episode today than any other episode we've done, because it was so difficult just to get up for it today, to actually get the cameras on, get the lighting right, and to go and do today's show. And it's not because of anything else other than it's been a tough year. It's been a long hard grind. And we've all been through that. Everyone's been through that. A lot of us have been through, company changes, career changes, whatever you want to call it. A lot of us starting at the bottom again. And I think there's testament to a lot of people going through the same thing as to what Ryan and I sort of went through today. But that's why it was so important for us to go and do today's show, because we all can do it, even when you don't want to do it. You just get up and you just go and do it. And that is the most important thing. It's not really about the success of the show, the success of the episode. It's not about any of that. It's just the proof to yourself that you actually got up and you went and did what you do. And on a Thursday or a Friday, Ryan and I do the podcast. So I hope you enjoy today's show. How's the instructor rating, bro?
But I started the first actual instructor pattern or patter yesterday in the actual aircraft for the first time, and I royally shat myself for a whole hour.
that bad.
Holy shit. Let me tell you, it's one thing going from a student pilot to a bigger gauge aircraft, but a whole other story being someone of experience with a couple of 1,000 hours, jet airline, flying, this and next thing, and then climbing back into a 172 after 14 years and 4 years of not actually flying a real fucking airplane.
Yeah.
I cucked myself, really, for 1 hour.
Was there a little bit of imposter syndrome at all, like reverse imposter syndrome? So now you're an airline pilot, you've flown, Part 121 airliners, and now you actually taking a step back to go a step forward. So what's that like?
There wasn't any imposter syndrome. It was straight up like, listen, this is who I am. I've decided after a good couple of years that this is the direction I want to take. Let's go back to basics and let's go and try and fly a 172 again and get this instructor's rating. But I had underestimated how fucking scary it was to fly those things. I mean, we got cushy in our jets. They comfortable, big, air conditioned. Big ups to my instructor Sarika yesterday who put up with me watching me literally like go back to basics,
fumble around.
Yeah, it was unreal. It was scary and exciting all at the same time. But it kind of reminded me of everything we've been doing the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Scary and exciting all at the same time.
Well, I've got big respect for you for doing it because A, I know it's not easy. And B, it's obviously taking away time from something else. So you've got your everyday life, you work. It's not like you're paying for this out of your savings from SunExpress. And more than that, it's taking time away from your family. So you have to weigh it up and to say, well, I'm going to go and do this. It's going to be difficult. It's going to take time away from what I would prefer to be doing. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. So have you felt that yet, or are you only going to feel that at the end?
Might only feel it at the end. I mean, at the end of the day, it's actually no different to the leap you took. What was it, 2 years ago? So in a lot of ways, it's like it's following in your footsteps, and it's like, well, shit, my mate did this. Why the fuck must I be scared to do it? And it's a good thing. It's like, we were having a conversation earlier, like about influencers and what choices do you make in life? And I suppose at the risk of sounding like a copycat, it's not that kind of thing. It's like, well, shit, it worked for you. Let me go and give it a bash and see how it works for me. And it's I admire you for pulling it off 2 years ago, for shit's sake, because I remember you saying, oh, fucking shit scary this was. And I was like, it can't be that bad.
And then you go and do it.
And I'm like, it's that bad.
Oh, that's cool, because I think there's obviously a bit of a lesson in that for all of us. Like, because someone else is doing it, maybe it sometimes does lead a bit of a path to, hey, I can do that too.
Yeah.
And you can find people out there anywhere that are doing things, and maybe that's a little bit of a push to go and do it yourself. But anyway, look, I did it 2 years ago. It was a different story. You doing it now, it's sort of right before the Christmas season. It's right before the end of the year. So I do really admire you for doing it. It's a difficult thing to do. It's been a hell of a lot of work. Like most of you know, Ryan and I work together. We to see each other every day. We work together. And if there's anyone not to slack off on work, it's Ryan. So Ryan always gets his work done. Doesn't matter how much it is, he always gets his work done. And then now he's had this instructors on top of it. So he's getting his work done, and he's making a plan to get this instructors done in the same time, which is a big tap on the back, because I can see it's not easy. It's not going to be easy right to the end. And I don't think, I've thought about this a lot over the last year. I don't think there's many things in life that are worth doing that is not difficult. Everything in life worth doing is fucking hard.
It's 100% true.
There is nothing in life worth doing.
That is easy.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think for me this year, Ryan, if we end off this year with one thing, and this will be our penultimate show of the podcast, we got one more show next week, and then it's done for the year. If there is one thing that we leave our listeners with, a quote that we leave it with, nothing in life worth doing is easy.
No.
So I really do admire you for doing it, and it'll be done soon. You're flying now. The hard part's done. The briefings are done. So now it's a case of doing the flying and getting the license, and then it's done. And it's an achievement. I mean, why do you do it? You know, it's because. The answer is because.
Yeah, it's because I actually don't have a definite reason. Like, it was just like something that it was a worm in my head in the middle of the year. I decided, well, shit, let's do it, and let's give it a bash and see what happens. And yeah, whatever. It's one of those things. It's a good challenge, personally, professionally. I mean, yeah, what the hell? No, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I mean, it's what can I say? It's nothing you haven't done in the last couple of years, but
it's not always that, Paul. And I think this is an important thing. If someone does something at some point in their life and it goes a certain way, it's fine. But maybe you're out there now and you're wondering, hey, I want to do something with my life, and maybe I should have done this instructor rating 10 years ago. You didn't.
Yeah.
You can't compare it to your mate or someone else that did it back then, and you compare yourself. This is your situation now. You've got a unique situation in your life. You've got your kids at home, your wife. Your situation is totally different to mine.
Yeah.
So for what you're doing now in your situation in life is a big success. So we can't look at it that way. And someone else did it back then, and it's a total different story. What would you have done earlier on in your life now, if you had the chance now, if you had to go back, hindsight type of thing? You would have done everything. You'd have been sitting here today. You would have had every license in the book. It would be a total different story. And the fact is, we don't do that.
Yeah.
You go through your own path in your own pace, and you end up where you want to be at this particular time. And it's not what you did or didn't do. It's what you are deciding to do today that matters.
Yeah.
That's it. There is nothing else. It's the only thing that matters. What are you deciding to do today? You decide, and everything is a decision. I'm going to make this work. That I've decided this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make this work.
I love that because it rings so true. Like, I was actually thinking to myself yesterday, I'm bombing along on this 172 thinking, fucking hell, I should have been doing this 20 years ago. I'm shitting myself now, but whatever, let's crack on and see where it goes. Got my instructor, all big shout to Sarika. She really, she saw me through this.
She guiding you through.
Yeah, 100%. She could check, she knew that, like, as a 7,000 hour odd pilot, like, this idiot was going to fuck up the landing. He's going to flare at like 100 feet.
Yeah.
I said to her, no, man, don't worry, I got this thing. She could see it coming. So her calmness and her professionalism was just outstanding. She was brilliant. Yeah. But, it got me thinking afterwards. It was like, what's harder? Is it harder being a 250-hour pilot trying to get into an airliner, or is it harder being an experienced airliner pilot trying to get back into a 172?
Yeah.
And I'm actually not so sure that it's kind of like same but different. It's equally as hard. I was sitting in that thing yesterday thinking, fucking hell, if I didn't have someone next to me who's familiar with this thing, who's in tune with this airplane,
no, I'll go further.
I'd be fucking lost, man.
It's harder, Ryan. It's
much harder.
It's much harder. When you leave school, you make the various jumps to each next phase.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And there's almost this, I don't know if there's a podcast out at the moment, excellent, Joe Rogan and The Rock.
Oh yeah, no, that's well worth.
So they're talking about just being fit in general. And they were talking about doing weights and going to gym. And one of the benefits with doing weights is that, when you do weights, you get pumped up.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah. and you see yourself in the mirror, and then it actually gives you a glimpse of, hey, if you keep working hard, this is what you will look like.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. It's the one thing that does that. Now, do what you're doing. You go forward in your career, you get a airline job. COVID came along, stuffed everything up, but you could be flying anywhere you want now. You chose to do something different, and now you've taken 5 steps back, probably doing a license you should have done 10 years ago.
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Jesus.
But what's better? Taking a step back now and doing it, or never doing it ever.
No. That is the trip. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the taking the step back now where the actual exhilaration comes in. I mean, you know, there's that whole, like, if you're not living life on the edge, you're wasting space kind of thing, which rings true. Because, I mean, we still joked with each other. It's like, have you updated your life insurance? I'm like, shit, I actually completely forgot about that. But fuck it, let's go anyway.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you land and you think, fuck, that was cool. I'll go and do it again.
Yeah. I felt good.
Yeah. I mean, you still said the same. You know, you said like your first lesson, you'll be like shit scared. And then you come back and you're like, okay, I've got this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope it carries on.
But it also took you back. It also took you back to the beginning of your flying career, which is kind of cool.
Kind of gets you back into like why you actually started doing this.
No, I've got big respect for what you're doing there. I think it's very cool. I think there's big value in doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. No one wants to jump into an ice bath, but there are health benefits to jumping into an ice bath. No one wants to, go and study something late in their life, but there's big value in it. Reading a book, whatever it is, there's big value in it.
Yeah.
And, I felt it this year with the jiu-jitsu. That's been my thing this year. I've been very consistent. I've been almost to every lesson.
And you've done exceptionally well.
Yeah, I feel like I've done well.
You actually,
I'm smashing it.
Physically, you're smashing it, but like without making it sound like a bromance, you're actually looking physically the part, bro. I mean, you are starting to take the shape of a fucking brute. I mean, I was like, I walk past him and I'm like, yeah, goes Barrock fucking fat chops, and old Brian is actually starting to look like a unit.
No, well, what's cool is it's just, I don't know, mentally for me, it's been an absolutely, it's been a lifesaver, absolute lifesaver. I'm so happy that I did it. I don't know how on earth I was lucky enough to find it. But I did it, and I think, we've spoken about it on the show, about doing difficult things, and I think doing difficult things is important. There's no question. There's value in doing difficult things. Not everything in life is easy. You go through difficult stages. Everyone does. We don't all talk about it. We don't all have a podcast and a thing to actually chat about it. We're lucky. We sat here and we make out as if, we do the podcast. You and I, let's be 100% honest with each other right now. You and I do the podcast. Who for? It's us.
Oh, 100%.
We do it for us. It's a way to articulate our thoughts and to think about it and to talk about things. And also, you want to do the instructors. You want to be able to talk about that thing that you're doing. And you want to be able to tell people the benefit of that thing that you're doing. And I'm not saying that's why you're doing it, but there's a push behind it.
Yeah,
that's, and I'm not saying everyone, must go out there and do a podcast. But, having a little bit of a platform sometimes does encourage you to go and do that next thing.
No, 100%.
And I've seen it with you. I mean, it really is... more than a tap on the back. It's been one hell of a challenge. All the stuff you got going on in your life at the moment, and trying to tie in the podcast and get that done. It's huge, and to actually get it done and to be sitting here today and doing the podcast, that in itself is a big thing. So,
no, it's pretty cool.
Look, we've spoken 15 minutes about us and about how great we are and all these things that we're doing.
Yeah, look, let's enough about us. Let's talk a bit more about like you mentioned earlier on, this is the penultimate show for the year.
Yeah, next week's the last one.
Yeah, look. So the last one for 2023. What's happening next year, bro? Big plans.
Yeah, look, we do have big plans for next year. You know, we're not ready to quite disclose exactly what we're working on or what we're doing, but you know, we do have plans. We didn't take it lightly, and you know, when it came time to move studio, it wasn't a case of let's just go move somewhere else. It was, you know, what are we doing? Is this worth our time? Is it worth being here and not being with our family? Is it worth being here and not doing, you know, working for the company that pays our bills type of thing? You know, this is all spare time stuff. And the truth is, Ryan, it is, because, you know, you and I have bigger plans. We're working towards something. We've both got a shared goal. It's taken a long time to come up with that shared goal for the podcast. I think we've got there now. And we, you know, anyone that knows us knows that we're going to work like hell to get there, and we won't stop, even if we're 70 years old when we get there. So, yeah, we do have a plan. We are working towards something. The podcast is going to improve as well. The content, the type of stuff we're working on, it's not just a given that, you know, this is just what we do on an everyday basis. We're looking quite critically at what are we talking about, how are we talking about it, particularly when it comes to the advisory side of things. That's become a big part of the show, and we're looking at expanding that quite rapidly next year with a little bit more focus. So, yeah, you can expect a lot from us next year. It's certainly... We're actually quite keen to get going with it. It's almost like, let's get going with it now, but it's something for next year.
Now that we've identified the project and we sort of kind of got the end goal in sight, it's like, in typical Brian and Ryan fashion, it's like, okay, cool, well,
we're going.
There's the goal. Let's get it.
Yeah.
We have to be like a bit realistic and pragmatic about it. This year's been a push. It's been a hell of a push. So, yeah, we'll kind of slow down now. November, December, take it easy. Old Brian's got a massive event coming on the 4th of December.
Yep.
The arrival of
number two.
Yeah. You still haven't told us what his name's going to be. So there's no guesses. We're going to wait for the arrival of number 2. And we're looking very forward to that announcement. And then, you know, enjoy the festive season. And next year, we're just going to hit it hard, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Yeah, this year, look, we managed to do exactly the same amount of shows this year as we did last year.
I think so.
No, we did. I counted, yeah. So it's quite a feat in itself, because last year was a slightly different type of pressure. This year, probably a little bit more professional pressure that we felt. So to actually get to where we are and have done the same amount of shows, I'm pretty proud about that. And cool. There will be another show next week, and that'll be it for 2023, which is remarkable in itself. It really is.
Yeah. No, it's been an epic ride this year. Absolutely loved every single minute of it. It's been a grind, but that's what makes it worth it, man. You know, it really has been one of the biggest things I suppose I'm most proud of.
It is. Yeah.
You know, given all the bullshit that we've had to suck up the last 3 or 4 years, this is been the best.
This is the business.
100%.
100%. Thanks, Paul.
Cool, man.
Yeah, as you know, aviation news-wise this week has been all about the Dubai Airshow.
Yeah, Dubai Airshow. I suppose one of the big events was the CAA awards function.
Yeah, I went to the CAA awards. Paul, you know, I went to that awards. I wasn't expecting much. It was a black tie event. I went in a blue suit. Ryan, let me tell you, it was actually, they put on a good show. A lot of people out there with big mouth that don't do anything for the industry giving their opinions. Yeah. It's a bit of a wind your neck in situation. The CAA put on a good event. There were a few areas. Some area got nominated for the training award, and they didn't give out a training award. You know, they didn't even were nominated, and then it didn't come out in the end. There were other awards as well. There's a reason behind it. I think they're going to sort it out next year. Bottom line, they tried to do the right thing. The CAA, there's no question. They tried to go in there and do the right thing. They put on a good event. It was well hosted. The food was good. The venue was good. It was. If you went to Europe and had an event like that, you would say this event was 100%.
Yeah.
So it was a flipping good event. maybe one or two areas where they can improve next year. Obviously, I think there are other operators, other people that are doing really good things for the industry.
Yeah.
They should be seen and heard.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all just the big airlines that are doing it. So, but I think they've probably heard that advice, and maybe next year they change it. But, you know, you've got to add value. And if you're adding value and you weren't recognized, you can either look at it and say, oh, we didn't deserve it, or you can say, we're going to add more value next year. And I think you and I fall along the lines of, watch out next year.
Watch the space.
Watch the space. And I think that's quite cool. So it gave me a bit of motivation. On Saturday morning, I woke up and I was quite motivated. I was like, you know what? We're going to do something next year proper.
100%.
I've got a plan for the podcast. We've spoken about it before. And, you know, that's one plan professionally, another plan, both of us, same line. So, you know, to be honest, Ryan, I don't buy into this is all bullshit. I think they did a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's good for the industry. And I'm going next year.
Yeah.
So
I suppose it's a good thing. I mean, you know, every sport needs its sort of, you know, tournament every year. And if
and something to fight for.
You know, if this is going to be it, then what the hell?
And it's a positive thing. It's like it's like, I'm going to get behind this. And, you know, end of the day, if you're in South Africa and you're in aviation, I don't know, get behind those awards maybe.
Exactly.
But it was cool. Yeah. It was cool.
No, it's epic, man.
So that was that. Obviously, at the same time, like I said, Dubai Airshow, lots of orders. Boeing selling to Emirates, Ethiopian, 67 more Boeing aircraft, EGYPTAIR, 10 Airbus A350s, Baltic, 38 220s, SunExpress, 45 737 Maxes, just goes on and on. SCAT Airlines, 737 Max jets.
That's pretty much been the dominant news all week.
All the other podcasts, all the other aviation podcasts in the world are going to talk about every one of those orders.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it comes to Ethiopian, we're going to talk about how, you know, proud we are of Ethiopian and, you know, African. Yeah. We don't give a fuck about that. I mean, we really don't. What you order, it's a corporate thing. Is it good for the industry? Is it good for the pilots? Is it good for the people around us? Is it good for our community? If the answer is yes, we're behind it. If the answer is no, well, then fuck it.
100%.
That's how I see it. Honestly, that's how I see it. So the orders and it's cool. Would love to have been there. I think, you know, we've got to make a plan next year and go.
We have to try, absolutely. But I mean, you know what? We can't be this year. So
we're doing other stuff.
Yeah. We're a lot busy on other
But lots of
projects,
orders. And like we said last week, a bit of a segue. Boeing have done really well.
They have.
At the Dubai Airshow. And Emirates the week before were looking at Boeing as an option for their cargo fleet.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, they go and make a whole whack of Boeing orders as per normal. So that's kind of what we expected. There's nothing really new there. Big orders at the show. What I will say, though, I think the big news out of it is that the Dubai Airshow is the air show. It's the air show.
You reckon?
Yeah. I genuinely think so. The time of the year is right. It's right before the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's a good few months before the end of the financial year. It's the right time for this whole thing to happen. A lot of people go to this air show. I saw more sort of publicity of like the aviation fucking, what do you call them? Influencers. Sanctuary. At this air show than anywhere else. So
shit.
There's a lot more of that going on. So look, I think it's a good show. Definitely I want to be there in the coming years. But I think it's pushing Farnborough and Bourget, to be honest.
You reckon?
Genuine.
100%.
This one I like. China Southern will honor the $1.50 error fee. So they put up this $1.50 for this particular flight. to wherever it was.
What, pay $1.50 and you get a ticket or what?
Yeah, so it was a stuff up on the. We've spoken about it a lot. Sort of a networking error on their website.
Okay.
And they've honored that fee. So anyone that paid for that,
you
is
pay
getting the
you
cheap
pay
fee.
$1 off there, your flower airline.
That's it. So
What a bargain.
yeah,
Can't wait for Safi to make that cock up.
demonstrating their respect for consumer rights. Speaking of Safi, so we had a look, or I had a look.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. And actually, I was going to do it today, but we'll do it another time. Peak travel time of the year in South Africa.
Well, it's coming up now, December.
It is now. There was an article out, broadband.co.za. Airlink must have paid for it because it was all about Airlink. Book early to avoid December, January travel demand on any of Airlink's more than 225 daily flights to 46 destinations in 15 South African countries, including Madagascar and St. Helena. St. Helena. Who wants to go there? In preparation for the upcoming holiday period, Airlink has expanded its fleet by leasing 2 additional Embraer 190 aircraft. These additions align with Airlink's growth plans, blah, blah, blah. So, who's the cheapest, Ryan? Joburg, Durban. 15th of December, departure. One person arriving back in Joburg 4 January. 10 o'clock in the morning departure, roughly return 7 o'clock in the evening. Who's the cheapest?
I've got the answers in front of me. I see you got your Airlink return $1,900.
Yeah.
Plus Safi $1,750.
Safi was the cheapest.
By $150.
Yeah, Safi. Look, Airlink wasn't far behind. That's with a bag.
Okay, so Safi is still going to charge you.
No. So that is
including.
That's including the bag. Right. So this is comparing apples for apples.
Cool.
I'm actually going to do this whole thing. We're going to go onto the website. It's not fair. I actually thought about it yesterday. I was going to go on, do this whole thing now, go on to FlySafair site, go on to Airlink site, go on to SEMAIR.
Do like a complete,
it's actually bullshit. Because you cannot compare a SEMAIR ticket to a FlySafair ticket. You can't. You can't compare a FlySafair to an Airlink ticket. You actually can't compare FlySafair to any one ticket because FlySafair fly about 1,000 times more sectors a day than what the others are doing.
Okay, but does the average Joe know that? I mean, look,
no, they don't.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to run the whole setup down. I'm a devil's advocate here. But if you know nothing about aviation and you want to go and visit Piet in Cape Town, a family member for the first time in their life, and to jump on the interweb to book a ticket. Do you know what the fuck's going on?
No, you don't.
You're going for
the reality is they're different stories. And from what it looks like to me, this from the outsider's perspective, it looks like you've got Safair trying to eat up the whole industry by having all the sectors. And they did. The CIA Awards last week, they cleaned up everywhere.
100%.
100%. Rightly so, no question. Yeah. My mom's coming here in December, FlySafair, no question. Cheapest ticket, FlySafair. That's who you're flying on.
My folks, when they fly, it's FlySafair.
FlySafair.
No questions asked. So
that's it.
They've got the industry by the balls.
That's it. It's a FlySafair ticket. You're flying on FlySafair. It's the cheapest ticket. You're coming on FlySafair. Then you got Airlink. I've spoken about it before. Their product is legit. It's world-class. A world-class product. It's a different product to what you get on FlySafair. No question. No question. Food, boarding, the whole thing. Smaller aircraft. So is fucking flying on a 190, sitting on your ace without 2 other fat slobs next to you is worth it. I don't care how much you're paying for your ticket. It's worth fucking a lot of money.
Some people will say the same about a 172. But anyway, is that what you're saying is the difference between flying different airlines? If you know what you buy.
You're not comparing apples with apples, bro. So I was going to do this thing today. I was actually going to, compare. You know, Ryan, I went to SEMAIR yesterday. I had a meeting at SEMAIR.
Yeah.
I saw a mate of mine there. One of the guys there, I always see Chanel. Anyone that in aviation knows Chanel. Looks after the commercial side there at SEMAIR. When you go to SEMAIR, there's such a vibe. If you're feeling a bit down or a bit low on energy, go to SEMAIR. There's just this fucking vibe.
What's it going to amp your vibes?
It just picks you up. But the point is, when you buy a ticket, okay, you're buying We spoke brand awareness and South Africa these days, brand awareness, please, man. You buy what? The cheapest ass ticket you can possibly buy, unless the company's paying. And if the company's paying, you're probably flying on Airlink.
Yeah.
And if the company's not paying and you paying, you're probably flying on SAFair. And when I had to fly now and the company was paying, I flew on Airlink. And when I've got to fly my mom up from Cape Town, she's flying on SAFair.
But that's like a very typical South African mindset as well. Like we are so into our like a rewards benefit as well. You know, like wherever I got the most rewards, Pick and Pay. I'm going to use my smart chopper.
But true or not true? I think it's pretty accurate. Yeah. That's kind of where most South Africans think. Yeah. I think Seme in a different market. They're targeting a different market. They've got the local stuff, the regional stuff, and of course they do the contract stuff. Total different story. Yeah. I wonder how Lyft is doing. You wonder how the likes of Lyft can really compare with that gauge aircraft with Fly SAFair. With Fly SAFair's frequency, how on earth do Lyft compare?
Oh, man. You know what? I think every airline at the moment in South Africa has got its own little niche. You know, Seme have got their niche. Fly SAFair have got their niche. Airlink have got their...
But do you genuinely think a crowd like Lyft have a niche when it comes to... They are competing directly. And they're not a low cost, but come on.
I don't know. I
mean, they're not a low cost, but it's sort of a low cost.
Yeah.
You're competing with Fly SAFair. The Oaks have got 100 sectors. I don't know how many sectors they got a day to Cape Town. It's a lot.
Yeah.
How are they competing with Fly SAFair to Cape Town?
No, they're not competing by any stretch of the imagination. But when you talk about being a thorn in the side, you know, like an itsy bitsy teeny weeny,
yeah,
they're there.
They're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, you want them there. They're important too.
Yeah,
you need them. You need them there. Not running them down by any stretch.
Look, I suppose like when that one aircraft goes technical, and that lift flight is available with 100 spare seats,
you're gonna take. Well, we're going on Lyft before Spurries anyway.
Oh, any
Spurries could be on that 340.
I'll rather fucking walk before I go on Spurries. Categorically.
So we all for Lyft. The point is, how on earth is anyone competing with the amount of the frequency that SAFair have is beyond me. The quality that Link have, high quality, and then of course you got the Seme there. And those three are kind of dominating that market.
Yeah.
Spurries, they're going to go a long way to ever get back the
market share.
The market share and the consumer confidence.
Trust, yeah.
I'm not flying on them.
No, there's no fucking ways. I mean, they've burned too much of my taxpayer money.
Is it safe to fly them? Yeah, it's safe to fly them. The guys are probably well trained. It's not unsafe.
It's not about that.
It's just we're not flying with them.
Yeah.
We don't like the brand. We don't like where they came from. We don't like that they got rid of everyone. And then try to take everyone back, and then everyone pretends it's all okay now because they got taken back.
Oh. And it's also because it's 100% government. Yeah, exactly. Useless bullshit. Yep. Anyway.
Paul, it's a good podcast today. We almost didn't make it, but we did. And I think it's 100%. Testament to where we are on the show. Expect big things from us. We'll be here next week for the last show of 223. Thank you for being here. Guys, have a good weekend, everyone.
And to 2024.
Proteins fucked up again. A bunch of useless wankers.
Yeah, but fuck cricketers anyway. 2024. Big smash. Ciao.
Good morning. That was 553 uniform to left heading 250 on all another current. Left heading 250, Jazz 553 uniform. Tower runway 34. Runway 3494 for now, stand November short of Echo Echo, and we'll work that out. You can expect the full length for departure. November short of Echo Echo, runway 3494. Skywest 553 uniform, turn left heading 220 and contact Chicago departure. Left heading 220, contact departure, Skywest 553 uniform. United 204, fighting 270, 28 right, Echo Echo cleared for takeoff. Stay 28 right at Echo Echo cleared for takeoff, heading 270, United 204. Scout 5169.